Here are all the things keeping men poor in their 20s and 30s. My name is Brian Tran, and you're probably wondering, why the hell should you be listening to me? Well, the truth is, I've been broke, I've been poor, my family been poor, and now I own 8 companies that make me a lot of money. I could do whatever I want. But I want to make this video because I see it, and I got a lot of young followers that are coming to me and, they're just wondering, why is it so hard? Like, why can't they break out of that generational curse? Why can't they be the one that changes the lifestyle for their entire family? And when I really sat down to think about it, it came down to 5 things. In no particular order, the first one that I see that keeps people poor is that they do not understand delayed gratification. They want instant gratification. They want to get rich tomorrow. They want that high today. And then it goes to their whole spending habit. Right? They buy a lot of crap they don't need to get them that feeling of like, I got something. It's exciting. It's new, right? But the problem when you're broke and you're trying to get rich is that you need capital. And it doesn't get easier when you make more money. You just have to get more responsible today so that you don't go out and buy things that you don't need, because that money could be instead used to buy assets, stocks, things that will go up in value. They say your first $100,000 is the hardest to save, and I agree, it is very hard, because during that time where you're trying to accumulate up to $100,000, a lot of it is going to be trading time for money. And so every time you go and you buy that new iPhone, right? Just think about how many hours you had to work to buy that $1,000 iPhone. That $1,000 iPhone basically is 1/100th of the way to getting you to $100,000. So take that money, invest it, right? Save it. And then that way, the quicker you get to 100,000, now that money is actually substantial enough to start compounding and making more money. So guys, learn to delay your gratification. And if you're gonna buy something, make sure it's actually gonna be something you really need rather than something you really want. Number 2 of why I see men in their 20s and 30s never making it is that they do not stick at something long enough to win. It is a marathon, it's not a sprint. And so most of the time I see people quitting way too soon, giving up way too early, right? They've only been doing it for a year and they expect to become a multi-millionaire, right? Now, are there examples of that happening? Of course. But for the general population, including myself, this is 10 years in the making. 10 years busting my butt, taking L's, stacking little wins. Okay? But at any given point, quitting never crossed my mind. To sum that one up, I am a believer that if you do something long enough and you truly put your energy and effort into it, you will become successful. It's just whether or not you do it in 6 months, a year, or even 5 years, that is up to how much work you are willing to put in. How much time and sacrifice are you willing to do? That's the simple answer, all right? Stick through, don't quit, you got this. Number 3 is being in the wrong environment and sticking to what you know. The truth is, if you don't have any money, you don't know anything about money, right? And so you need to start getting around people that are successful, good with money, making a lot of money, right? You're not gonna take money advice from broke people. And the truth is, and including myself, there was not a lot of wealthy people in my circle. Not yet anyways, but we had to branch out, attend different events, buy into different groups, learn, see, touch, feel, believe. Because if you're not happy with where you are, the chances are you're just not in the right room. And nobody is tying you to the room. So get up, get out, and change your environment. Let me give you an example. Early in my life, I told everybody I wanted to be super rich. I wanted to have the nice Ferrari. I wanted to have the big house. But guess what my group of friends said? They said, Brian, who do you think you are? Oh, you're so cool, huh? You're so smart. How are you gonna do that? You see, that's the wrong group. That's the wrong environment. They were actually trying to put me down because they did not think they were capable of achieving that, okay? It wasn't until I started paying to get into these big mega rooms, conventions with guys that were making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month, living in the nice house, living in the big cars. And when I'm talking to them, they're like, yeah, it's doable, it's possible. I came from humble beginning. This is where I'm at. And so once I was able to change the room, I was able to just see that everything is possible. And all the negatives that come from, sometimes your friends, your family, it freed me from it. And it's going to free you too. Number 4 is they take little to no risk on anything, okay? You are broke because you do not invest, and you do not invest in either yourself, which costs money sometimes, or sometimes in my particular case, I see a lot of people who sit on money, right? And they don't even buy a single property. They don't buy a single asset, and they just let money sit in the bank. And the problem with that is, guys, to get rich, to get super wealthy, you have to put your money to work. Personal example, in my life, if I had not put everything on the line early on, there's no way I would be sitting here today. There's no way I would have the life that I have today with the family I have, the vacations, the cars. And it started off with taking a risk and becoming a real estate agent. No salary, commission only. It was a risk when I bought my very first property and I put everything I had into it and had zero money left over. It was a risk when I opened the first coffee shop that failed. The second coffee shop eventually became a success. The boba shop, the VA company. Everything was a risk, and everything took all my money. But I knew that if I did not put up the time, the energy, the money into these companies, that I would be stuck where I was at 5 years from now, 10 years from now. It is because of those risks that I took 5, 10 years ago that I have what I have today. But if I was so afraid to bet on myself and bet the money I had in my bank, there's no way that I would be successful. And the most successful people I know, in the very beginning, risked it all. And then, as they became successful, they started participating in what I call calculated risk. Okay? But at any given moment, and even today as we speak, I am still risking my money, my energy, my time on new ventures, new projects, flips. But if I didn't do it, guess what? There's no reward. The last one, number 5, is they stop learning. They stop growing. They think that after high school or after college, the education stops. That's not true. That in life, we are always learning. We should always be growing. We should always be replenishing the brains with new ideas, new thoughts, because things are changing. 30 years ago, there was no iPhone. 30 years ago, there was no artificial intelligence. And so all these new things are coming in, right? You have to stay up to date. You have to learn. And that's just the big things. But there are little things that we do not know. As humans, we do not know it all. And so you must always be learning, always be challenging the ideas that you have inside you. Because in order for you to become a millionaire, multimillionaire, a billionaire, it's going to require a different set of skills, knowledge. And the truth is that if you just stop, you don't just stay in place. You actually get left behind. Because the world will continue to move and it will not wait for you. And so just keep learning, reading books, getting around strong mentors, getting around good friends that are going to continue to push you, challenge you, and get you to grow so that you don't have to be broke. So those are my top 5 reasons why men are still broke in their 20s and 30s. Let me know if I'm missing something down below. Let me know if you enjoy these little rants that I go on, because guys, I get so passionate about this because I know that everyone has the ability to grow beyond their imagination. And that's what I want to inspire you today through my video. Keep chasing, keep pushing, keep growing, and I'll see you on the top.